welcome into another high school preview show. This time we got Coach Vic at Georgetown. What's going on, Coach?
How's it going, fellas? Appreciate y'all having me on.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you hopping on. We got Espo and Sean on here. Austin has soiled his pants a couple of times. So he will not be joining us tonight.
TV's broken about 3 times already tonight, watching them dogs out there. So poor guy. It's a struggle tonight for him, but it's all right.
But we got the real dogs on the high school preview show tonight. Coach, let's talk about last year a little bit, the kind of journey you guys had.
Yeah, for me, I was down the road this time last year at Waccamaw, so got to face Georgetown twice, and really saw a bunch of guys that were committed to playing really, really hard. And I think that's kind of the tail of the tape for them. Played a bunch of one-run ball games, played a bunch of games that were just kind of, obviously a game of inches, and some went their way and some didn't. And the ones that didn't were just in big situations. Played some really tough competition in their district with Gilbert and Beaufort. And, again, both one-run games. I think with Gilbert, they went like 11 or 12 innings to kind of end their season. And, just they were right there. And so that's kind of one of the things we've talked about this year is a bunch of those guys that were on that team that were on the field with and finished their season that way are back. So they got a little bit of a bitter taste in their mouth, and they're ready to compete and do everything they can to flip that script.
Now talking about some of those guys back from last year's squad, obviously newcomers to you, and we'll kind of get into that in a little bit, but kind of talk about some of those returners for the program, kind of looking for some of those guys to step up and take some leadership roles and get Georgetown back to where you want them to be at the top.
Sure. I think kind of on paper, everybody's going to circle Bo Moody's name, guy that's committed, signed to go play baseball at Presbyterian. A lot of people think that he's going to be somebody that slides over the right side of the infield up the middle, but I think the arm strength can play a little bit. Obviously, guy that handles the bat really well from both sides of the plate. Probably feels a little bit more comfortable from the left-handed side. But he's also a guy for us that's really going to jump on the mound and be big. And a guy that, again, when I was at Waccamaw last year, he was the guy who took it to Waccamaw on the mound. So, hopefully we can kind of repeat that for performance without a doubt. But, kind of looking at numbers, we got 11 guys back. We've got 6 that were on the field and started on the field when they finished up their season at Gilbert. So you got 2 guys in the outfield, Tucker Perot, Wills Bradham, left side of the infield with obviously Bo up the middle at short. Zach Krause is, you talk to people at Georgetown High School, he's the best athlete walking the halls. So anytime the best athlete walking the halls is playing on the baseball team, you got a chance to do some good things. Got a returner behind the plate in Chandler Adams. Probably, from a Georgetown perspective, a guy like with the name Mike Johnson rings a bunch of bells. Mike Johnson III, played a bunch of innings as an 8th grader, held down corner spots, played third, played first. He's going to do a bunch of the same this year, might slide onto the mound a little bit, but anytime there's a 2028 with a 6'4", 180-pound frame, he's going to catch people's eye really quick.
Yeah, Coach, sticking with those younger guys, I guess. So any newcomers maybe from the team who weren't contributing last year that you're expecting to step into roles this season?
Yeah, for sure. I think on the mound, a guy who got a little bit of run on the bump last year, Connor Hardy, is going to step into another role, possibly be kind of a non-region arm, definitely a guy out of the bullpen that can help. There's an 8th grader that might slide behind the plate a little bit, and Brooks O'Donnell, who's advanced. Looks the part for an 8th grader. Obviously, one of the big things, and it's not just with me at Georgetown, but just in the athletic program on its own. We had a ton of guys that played football this year. So there's just kind of a movement throughout the entire athletic program at Georgetown, and that was one of the key things for me coming on was kind of the vision that the administration and the athletic department laid out for what we're trying to do, obviously this year, but throughout the future. And this young group's got a chance to be really good and across all athletics, not just baseball, but hopefully baseball's where we really shine.
Coach, you've got a good core group there that you got coming up for many years. What about some expectations for this 2025 year?
It's the coach speak. We want to play hard. We want to do X, Y, and Z really, really hard. But my expectation is to shock a bunch of people. I think that Georgetown's kind of become overlooked a little bit. It's something where everybody you hear Georgetown, you think of what was the IP Classic, and people just kind of cast Georgetown to the side, and the first thing we want to do is recognize in what's now the Classic this March. I think that obviously we're going to run into some quality teams. We're playing teams that Daniel, who's moved up to 4A, we're playing 2 5A teams in Woodmont and Lucy Beckham. So we're going to challenge ourselves from a schedule standpoint, and the thing is for people to kind of hopefully see some results and say, maybe this is the team that we got to take a little more liking to as the spring unfolds. But again, all the coach speak aside, I want to surprise people. We're going to play. I think we're going to pitch. I think we're going to play defense, and if we can swing the bats, we'll make some noise.
And you touched on a little bit right there, and I kind of want to get in this a little bit. The Classic, right? The IP Classic has been around for ever.
Sure.
Obviously, a lot of change going on down there in Georgetown with the paper mill and things that are going down there. A lot of bad news or things that go on there at the paper mill, and obviously you got a big sponsor come in to be able to uplift and keep it going on down there. The Classic. Kind of talk about that transition with what goes on there, because it's big for. It's big for you guys, right? But it's big for high school baseball, right? It's tournament time in the state of South Carolina, and
Absolutely.
It's big for the state of South Carolina. This year our tournament kind of is running a different weekend than y'all's, which would be great because it kind of gives us a little bit more access to be able to cover both fully as best we can. But talk about just the Classic in general and what it means to your program, the community, and just everything that's involved down there.
Yeah, it's something. When word came out, I think it was Halloween Day, and we're standing in school. It's 7:30, 7:45 in the morning, and there's spouses of people that work at IP that were getting phone calls and saying, "Hey, I just got laid off, and I'm going to be jobless in December." So the IP Classic from a baseball standpoint was kind of the last thing in a bunch of people's minds. But it was very quick with new leadership and new sponsorship for this tournament. It was something that, again, you talk about the community and how big of a deal this is for the community of Georgetown. This is revenue. You've got 7 teams from out of the area that come in, that stay in hotels, that eat at our restaurants, that bring families with them to boost the economy. So it's, it is about baseball, but it's huge for the city of Georgetown. And, just couldn't be thankful enough for everything that Coastal Chevy Cadillac's doing coming in. And it's, something that is obviously huge to keep the tournament going and being able to still kind of just rebrand and keep the Classic. It's something that those words ring true. And, so now it's just the Classic sponsored by Coastal Chevy Cadillac. And, we're pumped. We're super excited. They've got a vision from kind of a tournament directorship standpoint to really bring the Classic back into the forefront. As we were talking kind of before you jumped in, Espo, that, this is, like you said, this has been the tournament in the state of South Carolina for a long time, and that's what we want to ensure that it keeps going. But from my standpoint, it's a litmus test for my guys. They're going to run into teams that are going to be playing deep into May, and so from that standpoint, we're going to do everything we can to compete and let those bigger ball clubs know, we're the smallest team classification wise in this tournament, but we're going to compete our butts off.
Yeah, I'm following along with that line of thought right there. What's with this being your first season here at Georgetown, what's one thing that you would, or a couple of things that you would like to have people think about when they think of Georgetown High School when you're going on during this season?
I want to hit. I want to swing the bats. I'm a pitching guy, so it's kind of hard to say, but if we can't score, we can't win. And I think just my personal kind of overview of the state of South Carolina, there's a bunch of teams from the Midlands and the Upstate that they win a bunch of the games that mean a lot, and it's because they can swing the bats. And so we got a new hitting coach coming into town who we're very excited about. This going to get us on the right track. And just from a staff standpoint, all the way across the board, I couldn't be happier with the 2 guys that we're able to kind of put in place and keep in place this spring. But I think we're going to pitch. I think we're going to play defense, and I got a feeling we're going to hit too. And that's kind of one of the things that we've been trying to hold these guys to a standard to is, hey, listen, it's time to change things. Not that it's been bad. I mean, this is a program that's won 2 region championships in the last 4 seasons at the 3A level, so that they've been in the mix. I'm not coming into some bottom dwelling place as a new head coach. I'm coming to a place that's established, and I'm just looking to raise the bar. That's really the biggest thing. But I want to hit. I want to score runs. It's fun to score runs.
That's the non-coach speak. We just want to hit. Keep it there.
Score runs. I want to score runs. It's fun.
It's a hitter's hit, Coach. That's what they say. Coach, we obviously appreciate you coming on. I know I had contacted you earlier. We may have some big plans for the Classic. Can't reveal anything here too soon. But nonetheless, look forward to covering that tournament and covering you guys for this 2025 season.
Yeah, appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity to jump on here. Thanks for everything that y'all do. Bringing just even more exposure to the state of South Carolina. So it's January. It's baseball time.
Yes, sir.
Go Real Dog.